Good morning, it's May 7th. This is Two My Liberal Friends. I want to talk today about recent developments in the war between Israel and Hamas. Israel's called Hamas's bluff, and they've now initiated a surgical strike as they continue their war against Hamas. There have been reports that the Hamas leader, Yahya Sinwar, has surrounded himself with the remaining hostages that are alive. He's done this in an attempt to thwart any attack on him by Israeli forces. The Biden administration has put themselves in a political box. While they're openly supporting Israel's right to defend itself, they're starting to bend to political pressure brought on by these political-based riots on college campuses and trying to put pressure on Israel to accept some form of ceasefire. The White House has acknowledged that Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Israeli Defense Forces have held regular meetings with reporters to come to any questions that are put for them and answer them, while the Hamas leaders, they've not done that. At some point in time, Sinwar will have to come out and say what is the intention of Hamas if a ceasefire is agreed to. Now, in my opinion, if there's going to be a ceasefire and ultimately an end to this conflict, Israel has a right to make certain demands that will assure its own safety. First, Hamas can no longer be the governing authority in Palestine or Gaza. They've siphoned off billions of dollars of aid for the Palestinian people to build their tunnels, acquire arms, and allow their leaders to live in luxury while the average Palestinian lives in squalor. Two, any agreement must include a strong language that Israel has a right to exist as a nation. There will be no more of the chants from the river to the sea. Israel is there and will remain there and has a right to. Three, any rockets fired into Israel, either from Hamas or any other group in Gaza or from Hezbollah in the north, will be tacit approval for Israel to go after those firing the rockets. The people of Israel deserve to live in peace, as well as the people in Gaza. And fourth, there must be a full accounting of each and every hostage. Any of them that remain alive must be immediately released. The death of each hostage that is no longer alive must be detailed as to how and when they were killed, and those that have killed hostages must be held accountable. Those agreements have to be in any agreement. Now, Joe Biden put himself in this political box by his unwillingness to take a strong stand against Hamas. Now he's worried against any continuation of the war will hurt him politically come November. For Hamas's part, they can see that Israel's dead serious about coming after both Hamas soldiers and the leadership of them. For these reasons, they're suddenly saying they'll accept the terms of a ceasefire, but again, they don't discuss the hostages. Why? Because that's their leverage, and they don't want to admit that many of them already died. So politically, Biden put himself in a box. Today, he will speak about the war, and he will do so in front of the Holocaust Museum, a couple of blocks away from the White House. He will be doing this speech on the Day of Remembrance that is done at the museum each year. They're remembering what happened in the 1930s and early 40s. He will talk about the growing anti-Semitism that seems to be raising its level in the United States, but he will not be calling for prosecution of those that have demonstrated with that anti-Semitism and damaged property on campuses around the nation. You can bet he will denounce the October 7 attacks and refer back to atrocities committed against the Jewish people by the Nazis. But then he will start demanding that Israel pull back from Gaza, but will he also demand that Hamas lay down its arms and unconditionally surrender? Probably not. Negotiations will continue on a ceasefire. Israel stated that the latest proposal from Hamas, now that they are cornered and realize Israel is coming for them, did not come close to meeting what Israel needs in any agreement. Israel will send a delegation to Cairo to continue talks during the conflict, but they're steadfast, as they should be, that the terms of any agreement have to be acceptable to Israel. Finally, today with Israel taking control of the Rafah border crossing, it means that Hamas can no longer move its fighters out the back door. It traps them inside Gaza. But even with UN people on the ground, they realize that Hamas has to give up. Sam Rose, the director of the UN Relief and Works Agency that aids the refugees, said it best yesterday. This has to come to an end. The ceasefire has to be agreed. There has to be an unconditional handover of hostages. That's the message Joe Biden should send today to Hamas. Release each and every hostage before any agreement and provide a full accounting of what happened to those who are no longer alive. Now, do you think Biden has the guts to make a statement like that? I'm not sure I do. This has been To My Liberal Friends. Thanks for listening.